I was nervous. I was crazy nervous. I was like, the day of the fight, I was watching Rocky movies. I didn't respect people like in my weight class. For me, I just thought I was on another level. A happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. I was walking through like puddles, like up to my armpits.
Like, what is going on here?
And
I was like, how's this guy fighting?
But man, I got headbutted so many times. So they were commentating it, and I could hear them. And at one point, like round 7, I landed like a big left hook, and all I heard is "God damn!" So for me, I got hyped because I'm like, "Oh shit!" They heard that. Yeah. You press me, I'll fight you. You know.
I want to cry. Like internally, I was crying. Showing up is one thing, but like showing up with intention is another.
And your favorite fighter, man. You know, Canelo is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people behind him before he got to where he is, right? But I always say boxing's a jealous bitch. You know.
I don't give a fuck about mistakes, brother.
The average human doesn't get punched in years.
What's your favorite boxing movie? All right, guys, welcome back to the On the Run podcast. It's episode 4. I'm really excited about today. We have Hellman, the Savage Prince, a great and probably the best boxer I personally know. He has a lot of value to bring to us today. So just want to pass it on to him and ask you the first question by asking, who is Hellman Alakoze outside the ring?
Hey, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. You know, I've known you for a couple of years now. You guys have supported me so much with the meal preps, coming to my fights and supporting. So I'm grateful for you guys.
Thank you.
And I believe in you guys too, right? So the product, it's the product that helps me.
Awesome. Thank you.
So and also my clients. So
thank you.
Just right now I'm 14-1 as a pro boxer. I've had lots of amateur fights. I've been boxing my whole life. This is the only thing I've known my whole life, right, since I was 5 years old.
Awesome.
32 now.
Yeah.
So it's been a lot of years. You know, this is when you eat, sleep, and breathe boxing. You know, not a lot of people can do what I do. You know, like to basically build your whole life around a sport and make sure that sport is providing for you.
100%.
Right? Because a lot of people they'll get into a sport and it's just a short time.
Yep.
It's not permanent. You know, for me, boxing's always been permanent. I said, like. It's what I do, but it's also who I identify as. When you look at me, you see a boxer. You're like, that guy's a boxer for sure.
Speaking of which, what drew you to boxing in the first place? Like you just said 5 years old. So like it must have been an influence from like a parent or somebody that's close to
be honest, I mean, that's why I wore the shirt today too, right?
Okay, so, awesome.
Just shout out to Cloth Talk. They, got me this shirt. But when I was a little kid, I watched Evander Holyfield against Mike Tyson.
Yep.
You know, the second fight where he bit the ear.
Awesome. Yep.
And I was hooked because it wasn't even the boxing. It was that, just that ferocious anger. I was like, "Holy shit, this is crazy."
So it was the fight essentially. It was yourself that more or less your interest.
Yeah. So I saw that, and I was a kid. I think I was like 3-4 years old at the time.
Awesome.
And I was just like a light bulb went off my head. And then I remember my dad saying, "Oh, like in Pakto, right? Because we're Afghan." Yeah. He shouted. He's like, "Oh man, he bit his ear," right? So I was just like, what, like hooked. And then I started boxing. I was always aggressive as a kid. And then I saw Prince Nassim Hamid, right? So my two favorite fighters, Mike Tyson, that's the ferocious animal, and then the Prince, who's just
the clean,
just a jet, like crazy showmanship, and and a good raw power, and just and so I identify with that. Like that, those are my two inspirations. And then I started boxing at 5 years old. My uncle and my parents didn't let me go to a boxing gym till I was 12 years old.
Oh wow! Okay, so you just did it with your uncle. Your uncle,
every weekend. Me and my older brother, the one that passed away, we were boxing every weekend. We'd put on the gloves and start. He was my main sparring partner.
Amazing.
Yeah, and then we'd actually practice on other kids in the school and stuff.
Yeah, of course. Getting into a little bit of trouble. Who hasn't, right? But let's just get right into it. Talk us through. Excuse me. Your first fight. Your amateur.
My first
what
amateur
was going
fight.
Through your head, like the first time, you're strapping those gloves on. You're, I'm pretty sure there wasn't a backstage, right?
Yeah,
an amateur stage,
it's actually crazy.
Talk us through that.
12 or 13, 13 years old.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, because I came there like at 12 years old after I got expelled from the private school I graduated from in Czech Republic.
Okay,
right?
amazing. So this was back in Czech Republic.
Yeah, so I was born here and then I grew up in Czech Republic. So at age 8, I left to the Czech Republic.
Okay, nice. And how long were you there?
I was there for 2 years, came back here for 1 year, got in a bunch of trouble in school, and then went back to Europe. And then I got in trouble in school again, And that's when my parents let me go to the boxing gym. And then, we didn't have any issues.
Awesome. Yeah.
After, right? But I remember I was 13 years old. I had my first amateur fight. It was actually our own like club show. So the gym that I was training in, they had a show inside their gym. So like I got lucky because a lot of times when you're starting off boxing, you're sparring in your gym and you got to go to another fight, like another gym, another venue for your first fight. So everything feels new.
Yeah.
But for me, my first fight was inside our home gym. So I sparred there a bunch of times. So I was like, okay, this is just this sparring.
Yeah, it's just like another sparring session.
Yeah.
Right?
So I remember it was a beautiful. It feels like yesterday, because I was nervous. I was crazy nervous. I was like the day of the fight. I was watching Rocky movies. That was my
to get inspired.
The montages,
that
was my motivation when I was a kid.
100%.
I'd watch those on YouTube and stuff. Right? We don't have like the access to information that we do now, right?
Of course.
You watch like Instagram. You're always on the feed, but back then it was YouTube and Rocky.
yeah, exactly. The movies, the movies that you have to put back into your cassette player or your CD player.
I remember it was like the fight. I don't remember too much. It was just I remember I was throwing my right hand a lot.
Yeah,
and I was tired because I didn't breathe.
Of course.
Right? Because you're so nervous.
Of course.
But I won. I actually won I think the first 13 or 14 amateur fights I had.
Wow.
I won, yeah. And then I lost to an older kid, and that was my first loss. And it was just
nice.
When I lost, I remember the first time I lost, I was back in the gym the next day. I was so angry. I hated losing.
I feel like every winning journey has its losses along the way, right? And if you don't experience loss, you don't really truly know how to win, because the greatest, I believe, that I've ever done it is the people that have gained it, lost it, and recaptured that top, whatever it may be, trophy or whatnot, whether it be like a organization in the NBA or NHL, losing or winning one year, losing the next, and then coming back to win again, like that. Winning the second time is the hardest. It's like the first one you may be naive, so you don't even realize what type of work you're actually having to put in. So you're just putting in the work.
Yeah.
You reach the top and you're not afraid. Why? Because you're just like in this like high, right? You're just like, oh, I'm gonna just do it. And then once you do it, you're like, okay, I'm here. Like the funny line I always go back to, it's like, getting fit is easy. Staying fit, that's hard. Like there's that meme, online. It's like, like who when the moment you realize when you get fit, and then having to stay fit is the actual hard part. Like there's a little twist to it and a little funny to it.
Like for me, even the last fight that I had, a lot of people thought I won. I felt I won. My team felt we won. And there's a lot of politics in boxing. There's some favoritism, right?
100%.
So, but we were so, like, I wouldn't say overconfident, but I was just locked in the moment. I had 6 fights in a year, and I think like maybe 6 fights in 14 months.
That's insane.
Right? So I was fighting every other month almost, right?
That's crazy.
And, I was a full-time boxer. I was, I've had my training business for the last 5 years, but for the last 2 years, I put it on like pause a little bit. When I was here, I was training my clients, but priority was the training camps. I was in the U.S. for training camps. I went to Dubai, got a title there.
I remember.
So I was so focused on becoming the best version of myself to hopefully be the best in the world that I didn't respect people like in my weight class or in my, I guess, my area, right? In my workplace, right? So like we're all boxers here in the Toronto GTA. For me, I just thought I was on another level, right? So I'm like, so when we got this fight, actually, this last fight in October, it was against a guy, Mark Smither, and I was like, you know what? I'm like, I'm gonna get past this guy, gonna beat him, and go on to the next one. We signed the contract for October 19th. 2 weeks after or 3 weeks after we signed the contract, I got offered a world title fight. In Kazakhstan for September 29th.
Oh, wow.
Right? And so, it wasn't for that much money. It was about, I'd say like $60,000 US. But it was still a world title fight, right? And it was for the IBO world title and the WBA world title, right? And so I was just like, oh man, like let me get past this guy. We'll revisit this fight after I knocked this guy Smithers out. And my ego, my overconfidence, I was like, there's no way they're gonna rob me at home because I'm not gonna need the judges. Yeah. I'm not the scorecards, right?
I'm just gonna crush him.
So for me, I was like, I'm gonna crush this guy. It's all good. Even to the point where we were like, they had a rehydration clause.
Yep.
Where like nothing's gonna matter. Like fuck the rehydration clause. Doesn't mean it's not gonna save him. I could come in there, completely dehydrated and still knock him out, right? So we took the fight. We said whatever they want to do, like we don't give a shit. Like it's not gonna save him. So we had the weigh-in at 140. The rehydration clause at 146 because of Ontario rules at the time. Now they got rid of that, right? So now there's no rehydration in Ontario, right? But so yeah, even that fight, it was.
And like Temo, for people that don't understand like the rehydration process, like boxers, UFC fighters, MMA fighters, excuse me, they fight at a certain weight.
Yeah.
But the day of the fight, they're normally about 10 to 20 pounds heavier. Right? Some guys are able to even gain 25, 30 pounds, right? John Jones being one of those guys. Like that's what gives him a big advantage as well. Is that he comes in heavy and strong. He's really good at that. And what Hellman was saying is that in Ontario, at a certain point, there was a limit to that rehydration process, which in reality, leading up to the fight, he's obviously, his natural weight is not 140, but he fights at 140. So having to come down to 140 and then limited himself back up to 146 as an eliminator because you can't go past that point. If you go past that point, you're disqualified, right?
Here was the issue with Ontario, right? Which I didn't really, it wasn't that we weren't prepared, but like I didn't think about it at the time. So we're like, okay, even if we missed the rehydration clause, I don't mind losing some money to to pay the penalty. But what happened, because Ontario, you weigh in at 140, and if you rehydrate the next day to 150, 154, for example, right? Then you're automatically, for that weigh-in, you're labeled as a super welterweight. Sure. So instead of wearing 8-ounce gloves, which is from from anywhere like under 147 and below, you'd have to wear 10-ounce gloves because after 147, it goes 10-ounce gloves.
Oh, wow, okay.
So because of that, we're like, oh shit, like we got to make this weight. Yeah, now the rehydration clause matters, right? So I weighed in at, I remember I weighed in at 140 on the Friday, 4 p.m. By 8 o'clock, I was 154. And then I was up until 2 o'clock in the morning trying to cut those 7 pounds to make it to the next day weigh-in, right? And, we made it. We stayed up till about like 1:32 a.m. to make it. Indio was with me. Shout out to Indio as well. He was a good coach. And, he was with me every step of the way, just making sure, like checking, kind of keeping you motivated. Because you're also in a hotel room, in a bathroom. Yeah. We put the shower on, steam, lots of clothes, running and stuff, like skipping, shadow boxing. Man. But we made it, honestly, it was fun because I put nice music on. I'm dancing, I'm chilling, right? So we made the most out of it.
You were focused on the end goal, right?
It's all about the mindset, like normally, like and especially in those moments, if you're just like, oh fuck, what the hell, I can't make the weight, and you start thinking negatively about it, your body's not gonna make the weight. There's no way it's gonna come out.
It's stress, right?
Yeah, and then 2, you're gonna carry that energy into the fight. You're gonna be sad. Like boxers, I don't care what anybody says. People think, oh, if you're angry, you're gonna be able to win the fight. No, we're the best when we're happy. A happy fighter is a dangerous fighter because it's the mindset. I trained. Yeah. I'm confident.
Yeah, like you've built the skills over the last how many years, right? Yeah. Like you're just trying to present them. I come from a bodybuilding background, and I do that, and I'm, working towards whatever, like being a pro as well.
Yeah.
But the truth is, I truly just like once I become a pro, I don't care anything after that, right? Because again, it gets into politics, steroid use, all this other crap, and I'm not against steroid use. I'm just, again, I don't want to be like these guys, right? Monsters, it's not what I want. But I do believe I have the potential, again, the work that has not been done yet, to become a pro. But leading up to it, like what I realized is, and again, I've done several competitions on an amateur level, right?
Yeah.
And leading up to the shows, I'm telling you, man, you were just talking about the mindset and like the energy that you're carrying, bro. Like the first show I came in, I was so confident, and I look back and I didn't look nowhere near as good as the second show that I did in terms of look, like fullness and everything. But I got a better placing in the first show than I did in the second for one reason, because on the second one, I was intimidated. I looked around and I was like, holy fuck, who are these big guys? Because it was a bigger competition. Yes, it was still on an amateur level, but it was a bigger competition. I was like, oh my God, these guys are so huge. I started doubting myself. And I'm like, when in reality, from the first show to the second show, I looked, this is a 1 month difference. I looked 10 times better. Actually, I was like, my coach was like, this is it. The look is beautiful. Like you crushed it. And then what happens, right? The day of, I started doubting myself and whatnot. What happens when you doubt yourself? You start retaining water. You start becoming soft. It's. I'm telling you.
You know, so someone told me recently, like a while back, is doubt kills more dreams than failure does.
Of course it does. We were just having, Mark behind the camera. You know, we're just having this conversation earlier. I was like, man, like, fucking lost so many times, and I just gave you the walkthrough of like the facility and all that, and you're like, wow, this is great. And I'm just like thinking to myself, like, yeah, man, but you know how many losses I faced, and you know how many losses I'm still facing, you know how many like hardships challenges I'm still overcoming today. Like right now, after this podcast, I have to handle something else that's, a challenge and that's urgent. But what I realize is like, what else is there? Like, how the fuck are you going to be the best boxer if you haven't been punched in the face 100,000 times? You know what like, it's like, how are you going to be the best boxer if your arms don't feel like they're going to fall off after punching the bag 1,000 times? Like, it's like failure is the goal.
Everything has a price, It's
the goal.
If you don't train hard, it's going to cost you a hard fight.
100%. You're going to have to. Exactly.
If you train hard and you'll go into the fight, it's a lot easier than it would have been if you didn't train, right? So, and just mindset, it's the most important thing, I think.
100%.
Especially in the high level too.
And that's what it was like, again, going back to that first to second show, mentality, my coach turned to me. And again, this is my first show. He had an expectation out of me, but he's like, you know what? Let's just get the feet wet. Let's see if you like this, if you like, all this. Yeah. And then he turned to me after the show, because obviously he's not going to friggin' talk crap to me before, right? He wants me confident. Yeah. So I went out there, presented, and then he turned to me after and he realized, like, yeah, I looked great, but my conditioning on stage when I was supposed to be holding that shot wasn't great. And he goes, now you see, you weren't working hard enough all this time. And I'm like, fuck, you know what? It hit me. So then when I went back into the gym the next day, all I did was train the hardest I possibly can, all leading up to the show for the second one, where I looked the best I've ever have, leading up to that point of my life. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, again, because I held that mindset, I'm going to leave it all on the table here today on today's workout. Because when it comes to stage time, all I'm doing is just presenting it like you. Yeah. You're going to fucking spar your balls off, excuse my language, balls off. Every time you have a sparring session, every time you have to do the cardio, you're going to crush cardio. Because when it comes down to presenting all of those skills and hardship on that day of, performance or whatever you want to call it, like, like the fight or night, it's just a matter of showcasing everything you've already done, right? Like it's either you've done the work or you haven't. It's gonna be showcased that day, right? So, what was your hardest fight of your career, and what did you learn from it?
As a pro, I'd say probably the Middle East title fight against that Digari Mahesh guy, just because of all the stuff that went behind the scene, went on behind the scenes. We had the Dubai flood.
Yes, I remember that you were walking through like
I was walking through like puddles, like up to my armpits.
Like, what is going on here?
And
I was like, how's this guy fighting?
It was.
I saw your post. I was like, buddy, this guy's tripping.
It was crazy. Like I mean, but one thing was on my mind. I'm like, I have to get this title. It's a WBC title. Yeah, I want this title. And it was the Tuesday of fight week. Going. I was in what do you call it? Kareem, which is like the Uber there.
Sure.
And all of a sudden, the roads are flooded. We can't get nowhere. And I was actually going from one hotel to the next hotel, and I'm like, what the hell do we do now? There's no you couldn't call 911 there. You couldn't call there's no emergency response. Everything was shut down. I was like, what?
So you couldn't even check into a hotel.
You couldn't move. All these cars were getting flooded. Yeah. So then, luckily, the driver I had, we had, I forgot which car it was. It was a Toyota Camry. Those things are Ferraris, but somehow he got us to the mall, and we went through puddles, and somehow the car didn't die. But we got to the mall, and we actually both ended up sleeping in the mall, in the food court on fight week.
So yeah, how many days before a fight is this?
This was 2 days before the weigh-in.
That's insane.
So this is the Tuesday night.
Well, how are you eating? How are you doing? Are you eating?
So
what were you doing?
I literally had lollipops. I was sucking on lollipops to make sure that I don't go up in weight too much, and I had water.
So at this point, you weren't supposed to be eating so much because you're supposed to be.
I had to make the weight 140, right?
Fair enough.
Championship weight.
So it's not like you were missing meals. That's a huge thing in my realm, right?
I was missing meals.
Oh, you were? Damn.
Right, because we got stuck, and then I was like, I'm not gonna eat junk food. There was nothing around. Like in the food court, it was all like one thing. I have to know exactly where my food's coming from too, right? Yeah. And so I was like, okay, this is bad. Like, let me just not eat, and I'll have some lollipops just to
hold you over,
quench my thirst, right, and stuff like that, right? So the next day, luckily, I ended up going to my brother-in-law's house because he also lives in Dubai.
Okay.
So I got in, somehow the roads were open, and we got to Dubai Hills from the mall that I was stuck in. And then I actually ended up working out that day as well to make weight. And then I was like, okay, the roads are clear. I'm like, okay, let me check into my hotel now. Checked into the hotel Wednesday night. And then Thursday, I had to weigh in. And then rehydrated, but still wasn't the same. Because with all that stress, your body gets tired too.
Of course it
right?
does.
Little things, you might not notice it, but it's definitely there, right? So when I had that fight, and that opponent that I had for the Middle East title fight, like he was strong and he was tough. And he was trying to knock me out, right? So I remember, and there was so many headbutts too. I didn't really get hit clean with the actual shot.
Yeah,
with the punch.
Hurt, man.
But man, I got headbutted so many times. Like at one point, I was dizzy while I got headbutted, and all. Like I'm just I kept resetting, and luckily my coach Glenn was there too, and he was he actually got his plane got diverted. He was flying from Canada, and he got diverted to Bahrain, and I didn't see him on fight week until the weigh-in. He got there before me because the Uber situation.
That's stressful too. Because on a professional state, like I would expect my coach to be there as well.
Yeah, no, because I actually went to Dubai 2 weeks earlier just to get ready to get ready for the climate and the time zone, right?
Yeah.
So and also just to see some family as well and get a feel of the place, right?
I mean, you're going halfway across the world. You might as well spend an extra. A couple days.
Yeah,
there,
so
right?
I was training there too, just getting ready, and then so when I met my coach at the weigh-ins, it was a good time because even though all that chaos, we still had found ways to laugh about it, and enjoy it and stuff, right? It was a good experience, but that fight, it was the headbutts, and then my coach telling me, hey, don't think about it, just focus on what we worked on, catch the shots, we that fight, I was actually learned the Philly shell and the elbow block, cross blocking, right? Awesome. So we practiced it, and things were going well, man. With the commentary was sick. I could actually hear them. We had what's that guy's name? Gareth Davies, whatever his name is. We had Anthony Crolla, who's pretty famous as well, former world champion.
Amazing.
He was commentating, and then Anthony, the pretty boy guy, the Misfits boxer.
Okay. Yep.
Anthony Taylor. So they were commentating, and I could hear them. And at one point, round 7, I landed a big left hook, and all I heard is "God damn!" So for me, I got hyped because I'm like, "Oh shit!" They heard that. Yeah. So I put my hands down. I did some crazy move, and everybody was screaming "Oh shit!"
Oh, great left hook! Good shot! Dang! Great shot! Great shot! He like that! He like that!
Oh my goodness!
It was crazy, but yeah, it was good experience, and I won the fight.
What's the main takeaway from it? What did you learn?
In that fight, man, I'm always I always knew that I have a dog in me. I'm not just a pretty boxer that can box on the outside. I'm if you press me, I'll fight you. Because a lot of boxers you'll have some guys that can box really well, but as soon as you bring the fight to them, they shut down, right?
100%.
And there's a lot of guys that can fight really well, but as soon as you box them, they're confused.
That's why Mike Tyson was a savage, right? He would rip any door that you were trying to put up, right? He was right in there.
Mike Tyson, he was a savage, but certain guys they got the better of him, right? Because they were able to use that savageness against him.
Exactly.
Right, Lennox Lewis, grabbed him, and Holyfield, right? So
slow him down a little bit.
Yeah. So that's the thing about fighters and boxers, right? You gotta have, if you can have both, then it's.
So with all that hardship leading up to that title fight that you had won, how do you mentally prepare for a fight? Your routines, the mindset practices. We just talked about mindset and whatnot, but today's fight day. right? Fight night, excuse me, right? Like you woke up. What is it that you do?
So I'm pretty lucky. I have a mindset coach as well.
Okay.
I use her for fights. Her name is Onika Green.
Okay.
And
so like you wake up, what do you do? Like
so for fight day, I've had one exercise. For example, I have I draw a circle.
Yep.
And in that circle, the first circle, I write everything that I can control.
Okay.
You know, so did my weight, is it in control, and the game plan, my jab, my conditioning, power, how I'm gonna make my opponent feel, you know, going downstairs to the body. Like basically the game plan's written in that in that center circle.
Got it.
Then the second circle on the outside, I write down everything that I can influence.
Okay.
Right, the crowd, you know, the judges, the my opponent's coach, my opponent's thoughts, his defense, his offense. You know, I can control. His mindset, right?
Yeah.
And then on the outside circle, I write down everything that I can't control. You know, if the guy lands a forced error, right, which is something you can't control. Like the guy lands a good shot, you're gonna get hit with those. Right? It's boxing.
Yeah.
So I write all those things down, and then, you know, you take the perspective of everything you can control. There's a lot more things you can control. There's some things you can influence, but a lot of things that you can't control, there's not that many that you can't control. So then you just kind of like keep it in the eye of the eye of the tornado, right? So it's in that eye of the tornado. That's where you focus on.
Nice. So you actually physically write these things down.
Write these things down, yeah.
And on every fight night, like
every fight, I actually have a whole book full of them.
Awesome, good man.
Yeah,
that's good. The repetition of habit is what makes anyone and everyone in this world successful. You know, I think the problem. Remember, we were talking about just like a couple of minutes ago is like, you know, winning a fight and becoming a champion is hard in itself. Yeah. But losing it and coming back and doing it all over again is the hardest thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's
so right now I lost a 10-round decision that everybody thought I won. But it's on the scorecards. I lost to a guy that I shouldn't have lost to, right? I wasn't good enough on fight night to knock him out.
Well, you didn't come undeniably. You know, you didn't win undeniably.
I didn't knock him out. You know, and the reason,
finish the job.
and also the reason why I didn't knock him out too, because you know, there's things you learn in this career. You know, I threw power shots from round 1 to 10. You know, even some other coaches, they were like, "You're in good shape." Yeah. But the problem with throwing the same punch, the same speed for 10 rounds, sometimes the guy gets used to it.
Of course.
You know, even if you hurt him, his body will naturally, you know, like wake up and protect him, protect his body, right? So if I just change the speed, if I calm down and I just, you know, touch, then threw a hard shot, I probably would have knocked him out.
Hey guys, life's too short to be wasting countless hours on cooking, or even worse, to be cutting corners on what you eat. Here at OTR Meals, we cook chef-inspired meals with clean, hand-picked ingredients, gluten-free and dairy-free options, and never frozen meals. You get to focus on what really matters in life while we take care of the food. Want to try it out? Go to otrmeals.com and use promo code podcast20 for your 20% off your first order. And if you're serious about your fitness goals, check out our protein-only options and use promo code MEAT20 and get yourself 20% off your first high-quality protein order. Hurry up and head to otrmeals.com and let us fuel your life the right way.
Somebody took my own. Now I'm back to being a kid. You know, I have nothing to lose. You know, I'm just here to fight again, and hopefully August 9th is my comeback fight. Hopefully I'll destroy the guy. And,
good, bro.
And then we're on to the next one. We like since my last fight, a lot of things changed. You know, I decided to do my camps here at home. I was at another gym, and then I wasn't really happy. I was like I want to have my own thing. So I ended up opening my own gym.
Awesome.
Just this last month, right? It's called the Boxers Club. From there, I'm now one of my very close friends. He's training me. He's stepping up as a coach. He's training me, but we've been training together for the last like 10 years.
Wow, nice.
Right?
He knows you.
Yeah, he knows me really well, right? So and he's trying to make him a name for himself as a coach, right? So that's Darren Gonzalez.
So he's really driven to bring the best results.
Yeah, this is also his pro debut now as my comeback fight, right? His pro debut as a professional coach, right? I still have some of the same team members with me as well. I I have a new strength coach,
Nice.
and things have been going well. Like my body feels great. My old coach Glenn, he's still here. He's part of the team, and we're all just we have a vision, for the team. And then I got my other guys as well. JB are with me there in the corner for this fight, and everybody's part of the Boxers Club. So my gym is making noise in the professional scene through me.
Good,
So yeah, I'm an owner operator and a client myself.
Before we get into the Boxers Club, I have one more question. I want to talk about discipline and mindset because it's huge for me. And this is a huge factor as an entrepreneur myself, right? And both of us, how do you deal with fear, pressure, or nerves before walking into the ring? Or more importantly, like even starting your boxer club, right? Like before we get into the details of the boxer club, like how do you deal with that fear? Like for me, we've talked about this, but I've been when I was younger, I can't afford to now, but I've been in many street fights, and like what I realized is my fear was always at an all-time high, but the way I used to get rid of it, and again, this is a street fight, this is totally different. I throw the first one. I always used to throw the first one. I didn't wait. Why? Yeah. What am I waiting for? Like, you already stepped up, buddy. Like, there's no rules on the street, right? So I'm bam. And, I had a good right, and a lot of guys went to sleep right away with one. Sometime, I'd say the 15, 20 fights I've been in street fights, again, from high school to like nightclubs and all this crap. I've lost one, and I got beat up once. I just like straight up got like 4 fucking, straight jabs to the nose, and I was like, buddy, where are my brass knuckles? I've lost this one, like my ego, my everything. And it was in high school, bleeding all over the place. I was like, this guy fucking got me, and I lost that one. The other one, I got beat up in that one. I consider that a beat up because my face was just bop, and he was like clean, And then I lost another one where like we squared up, and I was like, you good? And technically, looking back 2 days later, I was like, nah, I lost that one. And when you say, you should see the other guy, I'm like, no, I am the other guy in this one, I had a black eye, I had like a freaking cut on the lip. But every other one, the reason why, and again, fear goes out of it as soon as I throw that first one. So same thing with business, building OTR meals over the last 10 years. Like, people are like, what's like the main thing you can like pass on like as a piece of, like a piece of advice, like what made you like fight? Like, how did you get from year one, day one to now? And I'm like, buddy, just throw the first punch. It's really simple. Just fucking jump, right? Like I'm not the type of guy. I'm like, oh, let me see. Water is cold. Oh, is this the deep end? Is this shallow end? Is this I fucking jump. Like I'm just in there. But for someone like you on a professional state, because still I have not accomplished this with my bodybuilding career. I fucking trip out. Like the last competition that I did last year, I looked great and everything was good, but I just deflated leading up to the show because I just don't have that internal confidence. I don't know what it is. It's like everybody tells me how great I am and I look great and this and that. And even my pictures, they showcased a great look. But I didn't bring it out there because that fear I was still holding on to. And it's like something I have like anticipation anxiety. It's a huge thing of mine. And until this day, I fight it. Sure, I've broken many barriers of it. Before I used to be a lot bigger, and now I've gone 10 times better at it, at addressing it in different scenarios, sure. But I don't know, for some reason, it's like, I don't mind doing all the work. Buddy, I'll do it for free. Punch me in the face for the next 100 days for free. I won't even cry about that. But the day of, it's like something about it, man. So like for you, like even leading up to that friggin' like championship fight and all that, like how do you deal with that fear, man? Like because like I don't give a fuck who you are, man. Like as a man, that other man can also knock you out. Like you said, there's things that you cannot control. Even me and you, like when we get in the ring, you can probably get me because like there's an amount of time in a ring that I won't be able to sustain. I don't have the condition like you. But on the streets, it's a different story. All it takes is one hit. You know what I mean? You understand? Because it's there's no rules. Like I can kick you. You're not used to a kick. You're not used to a sweep. You know what I mean? Like you're not used to a lot of these X factors. So that fear that you're walking into this fight, knowing that guy, even though you're 10 times better, all it takes is for you to like throw one, drop your one hand, and next thing you know, get one. Because everyone has a chin. Sure, you have a strong chin. I know that. I've seen you fucking take the punches, but everyone has a chin. So How do you deal with that fear? Like straight up.
That's why preparation is key. You know, when I was amateur, sometimes I wouldn't prepare properly.
Sure.
And I would lose to guys I wasn't supposed to lose to.
Sure.
But when I made a decision to turn pro, I said, I don't care what it is, what fight, who it's against. I always have to make sure that I'm prepared, because if I'm prepared, I have no excuses.
Sure.
Right.
And that releases that fear internally.
Oh yeah, because you know that the only thing that could happen is you either, you know, get a bad game plan.
Yeah. Like you wrote the wrong game plan for that fight. Yes, that could happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, or just you know, it's the luck of the draw. But as long as you're still in the fight, you have a chance because you prepared.
100%.
Right, and that's why preparation is key, right? Because if you don't prepare, then you're not. Then you'll actually start doubting yourself. And like I said before, you know, doubt kills dreams before failure does, right? So it's as long as you're prepared and you're confident in your preparation, then you won't really have doubt, because then. You know, sometimes when you think too much about something, like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna get me, this guy's gonna mess me up. He's actually gonna have a better chance of messing you up than if you just say, I'm gonna crush this guy. I'm gonna go. If you start talking to yourself, you know, and that I prepared, I trained 8 weeks for this, I trained 9 weeks for this, I cut out everything. I'm ready to kill this guy, you know. But so that's, you know, the mindset is everything, and it's the way you approach it is what makes a difference, right? Like. Sometimes when you're in the ring with a better fighter, you start admiring what he's doing and you're responding to him.
Yeah, 100%.
Right? Like I spar with some really good boxers, right? Like even when I was sparring with Adrian Broner, right? Which is
crazy.
He was a 4-division world champion.
No,
mind crazy. You, when I sparred him, he wasn't, you know, at his top level, you know, because
it doesn't matter though.
But
he was building those skills to get to that top level.
I remember when I was, and I had to be southpaw against him.
Yeah.
Because they hired me as a southpaw.
That's hard.
And I remember I was like, oh shit, it's Adrian Broner. But when you start getting a hang of it, you're like, oh, it's not that bad. This guy's human.
Yeah,
this is normal, human. Right? I'm like, okay, all right. And then you start getting, you know, catching up with him, and you start competing with him. And then you're like, okay, now you got this. And then there's days like this guy would like, you know, give me a cheap shot. I was like, I gotta get this fucking guy back, you know. And that's when you realize that the way you approach things makes a difference. You could be in awe of somebody, or you could be right there competing with that person, right?
You're absolutely right, man. Honestly, the reason why I asked you that is because the last competition that I walked in with exactly that, all doubt. And there was a big reason to why was because when I was 12 weeks out, or 9 weeks out of my original competition I was supposed to be doing, my coach pulled me. He's like, what the fuck, bro? There's something wrong with you. Yeah. And the truth is we had the wrong game plan. Like you said, I resonate with everything you just said. We went up too much in weight. Because I'm a thinner, leaner guy, right? So and I told you the first 2 competitions I did, the second one that I came into, I was like, buddy, these guys are fucking huge.
How much you weigh right now?
183, 184.
Damn. Oh, you look like you're 200.
I know, it's an illusion.
Shit. Optical illusion.
Optical illusion. And that's what my coach does best. Shout out to Amber, right? Like he brings out the best of you, sure, but it's, you know, he understands the power of illusion, and that's what bodybuilding really is. Like these guys that look the way they do on stage, buddy, they don't look like that on off stage. Like I'm flat most of the time. You know what I mean? When I post a picture, it's post workout, I'm fucking jacked up, right? So, but with that in mind, right? You know, you're absolutely right. The mindset is the biggest key to success, and the way you walk in with your own self-confidence and faith. Yeah. Because you have the faith of, if I lose, I know I gave it my all. Yeah. And you have the confidence that as long as I keep punching and taking those, obviously you're not trying to take as many punches in your thing, but as long as I continue to punch, I'm still in this fight. And for me, with my thing, that with my last competition, it was like, he pulled me for that original competition. Yeah. Buddy, my fucking confidence, I just took it. He took it, bro. Like, you don't understand how my coach is. No bullshit. Like, yeah, he's my boy on the side. When off camera, we have a different conversation that we're having on here. Right? But on the side, you know, he's my boy. But this is business. Yeah. I don't pay him to be my boy. He told me, he's like, straight up, you're not fucking competing on this. I was like, I want to cry, bro. Like, internally, I was crying. Because internally, I was feeling like a piece of shit. So I was like, buddy, I just put in like 9 months of eating 5,000 calories a day. Bro, I was eating an insane amount of calories. Like, insane amount of meat, insane amount of rice, insane amount of everything. And he doesn't, I'm like, buddy, do you not know how much work I put in? And he doesn't give a fuck how much work you put in. It's either you look good or you don't, buddy. It's really simple.
How many meals did you eat a day?
6. Bro,
Damn.
I was. You don't understand.
If you need a good meal prep company, I know somebody.
You know somebody? Yeah, I'll reach out to them next time, And to be honest with you, bro, coming back down, and then we turned it around like 2 weeks after, 3 weeks after I tightened it up. Truth is, my body just couldn't handle all that weight. I've never been above 200 ever in my life. I got up to 220, bro.
Damn.
220, brother.
And
My max weight was 223.
But you have to cut down to 180?
180. I came down even to 177. And leading up to that show, I was not feeling confident. I was doing the cardio, and what you were saying, I wasn't leaving it all online. I was just doing the fucking cardio.
Yeah, you're going through the motion.
I was just doing the cardio. Yeah, I was doing an hour and 10 minutes. I was just doing it. I wasn't clocking it in. I wasn't like fucking crushing it. I wasn't like, yo, this cardio, an hour and 10, I gotta make it feel like it was 20 minutes. Like, I gotta eat this. No, the mindset. I did the work. I came in, I pumped, I ate the meals, I followed the diet, all this. And there was a period where like, okay, cool, I started looking great. And it's like, okay, cool, we can hit this next competition. You still have time. There's one last one we can hit. And then leading up to it, again, I wasn't confident, retaining water. And then one day I just said to myself, what am I doing, bro? Like, who fucking cares? I have a business, I have a wife, I have friends, I have family. People that rely on me. Like I pay like families, families rely on me. What am I doing here?
Yeah.
And I woke up the next day and said, bro, you look amazing. What did you do? And I'm like, honestly, I just said, fuck it. And I released all this water. My stomach got tighter. Everything got better. And again, walked into the competition. And that's where that fear kicked in again. You're talking about shading. You're talking about politics. Buddy, half the guys were geared up on a natural stage, Because you see all these natural guys. And I not follow, but from a distance, I'll check in on a couple of guys. And I'm like, man, this guy's putting in work. He's dieting. He's posting. He's this and that. And he looks great. And then you look over, you're like, I'm sorry, why is this guy here? Veined up, pumped, full, lean, ripped, tight, everything. I'm like, yo, what are you on? You know what I mean? Like, And then again, I deflated. When in reality, when I stepped on stage, the way it works with us, it's like, there was like 15 people in my class. You step on stage, so they change it, right? You do your routine, where you show off just by yourself, and then you do comparison. On the comparison round, they come in, you just do one, and then they do they do front pose, back pose. They'll line up 6 or 7, however many. Let's say it's 15 people. They'll do 7 and 8 breakdown, or maybe 5, 5 and 5. They won't move anybody, but the goal is to be in the center. Yeah, because that's first place, right? Where's first place always hold in the center. So the idea is to get. So they do the pre-judging. They're like, okay, cool, comparison, cool. They do every comparison in my class. Then we come back out, they line us all up, and then they call first call-outs. First call-out, bro, again, confidence. Fear, no confidence, no nothing. I'm at the end of the stage. They go hit the front pose. I got first call-out. Right away, I go to the front, to the center. They're like, yo, we love this guy. He looks fucking amazing from the front. What was I doing the whole time? Stressing, fear, no confidence. I'm in the center right now. I turn around and go to hit my back pose. I couldn't.
Oh shit.
Because again, I have no pump. I was just fear. Like, I'm not good enough. What happens? I get bumped. I go to second. Second goes to first. I hit the front post. They kept me in second. I turn around again because my back wasn't as developed as I want. But if I just presented the back that I had, I probably would have just stayed in second. Buddy, I got like 6th place.
Oh shit.
Only one reason.
The mindset.
I put myself in there.
Yeah.
I was not at 2nd place, bro. My coach said, easy second. 6th place. I was easy 2nd, 3rd, right? Like easy 3rd. No problem. I could have got the top 3. No, I got 6th. Only because of that fear I took over.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's why showing up is one thing, but like showing up with intention is another. And that's I think the goal in life.
And also like, at this level right now in my career, what I realize is when you're in the ring, it's about being the ability. What makes somebody elite and somebody okay, intermediate, beginner is the ability to reset.
Reset is
right,
huge.
because and also as a business owner, I'm pretty sure you have to be able to reset, buddy. Constantly reset. So in the ring, the guy hits you with a shot. If you start thinking about that shot, oh fuck, this guy landed me, I gotta get it back. Yeah. you'll start trying to play catch up to his big shot.
You get caught up in the
and
weeds.
You'll get caught in the web of more shots.
Yeah, weeds. It's called the weeds.
Right, yeah.
Like in business, it's called weeds. It's like you're just stuck, you know, because you're trying to do something.
But if you get caught with the shot and you're just like, okay, I reset, boom, I gotta hit this guy. But you don't think about that shot that landed. You focus on your game plan. Then you're more likely to land a shot on him or land multiple shots on him,
100%.
right, and not get hit again.
Because you're sticking to the plan.
Because you're resetting, right?
Yep.
And in business too, like I mean, for me now, I'm a pro boxer that owns a gym. I got a water business as well. You know, we got the water over here.
Shout out, boss.
It comes from New Brunswick, and yeah, it's just I'm doing so many things, but when I focus on one thing, and things are going wrong, it has a catapult effect, right? Like it
always.
It just everything goes to shit, right? But I just keep resetting. I try not to stress now, and whether you know I'm training hard and the workouts are good, I don't carry it into my business. Yep. I make sure everything is separate, and I just that's the ability to reset. You know, like the business is doing bad, training can't be bad. You know, like I just reset at the time. So I focus more on the present now,
good,
and I'm able to like reset.
Let's talk about Boxers Club. Why did you create it, and what's the mission behind it? Like, I understand that you wanted to, you know, keep your camps close, but like you can simply just join another gym and not even have that overhead. Because I know as a business owner, that's overhead means stress. Overhead means overhead, right? Like it's on top of, you know, everything else. So like, what is your mission?
So, you know, when I started the actual brand 5 years ago, we started during COVID, and it was an online boxing club. And then I took the logo, I rebranded a few times, and then I started promoting it within my training business, like in person. You know, I had some big clients as well, you know, some famous Hollywood directors as well. And just, I was like, okay, I got to open up a gym soon. And mind you, this is the Boxers Club right now, the location we have, this is actually my third gym. Okay. You know, but this is the first time it's my own brand.
Yep.
Right, because I opened up a gym in China like years ago, and it wasn't my brand. It was an investor. He built everything, and he was using my program and my name in China, right? But and previously when I was 19 years old, I had a little spot inside a Family Fitness.
Okay.
In 2012, right, and it was just, you know, I was a kid, right, so it was just I was operating, but not under my brand. I was just trying to make money. I didn't care about anything else, right? But now the Boxers Club has been brewing for 5 years. It's been my baby. You know, I've learned so much from, you know, opening gyms other places, being at other gyms all around the world. I went to the States. I went to Miami, like all over the States. And, you know, I saw some good gyms in Miami too. And then in New York. And I said, you know what? I've been to gyms in England. I've been to gyms in Czech Republic. I'm like, I want to make my own gym.
Nice.
And when I was here, the one thing about opening like the gyms over here, for me, you know, and this is no disrespect to any of the gym owners right now.
Hey, look, it's preference, man. Like I don't need everybody to like on the run meals. Like, if you don't like it and you like another company, that's good. That's your preference, right?
Yeah. So there's no disrespect, but I feel like a lot of these boxing gym owners and coaches here, they're just trying to survive, and when they're in that survival mode,
not thriving.
For the athlete,
abundance.
For the athlete, they're not going to look at the athlete's best interest.
Never.
Because they got to look out for themselves because they're trying to survive. Right? So that's why I was like, I got to open up a gym, and I got to help, you know, the next generation of fighters. Good. I got to help myself, make sure that my camp is good. I got to do something, because what I want to do is, you know, Canadian boxing is we got a lot of talent, but there's no system here. So I opened up the Boxers Club to create a system, create a culture, and create champions. You know, I want to make, hopefully we get some big fights and we win some big fights under my name with the Boxers Club. But, you know, for the next part of my career, you know, we want to try to help guys get into the pro ranks, help guys get into national amateur level, and provide them with the support from my gym that I didn't have when I was younger.
On that topic, your young fighters, like, what do you want them to take away beyond just the skills, right? Like, yes, you're going to develop them into a great skill set boxer, because that's what you're doing. You're building their skill sets through boxing. But what do you want them to take away beyond boxing?
Well, you see, and that's another thing as well. Like, boxing has this, I don't know who the hell came up with this, but it's been an old saying, and it's a bad interpretation of boxing. You know, when you go to other gyms, everybody says, yeah, boxing is a poor man's sport. You're supposed to struggle before you make it. That's a bullshit line. You know, a bullshit way of thinking, because boxing is one of the most expensive sports in the world.
Yep.
You know, to get an athlete from the amateur to the pro like levels, the world championship levels, the minimum it costs on average is $350,000
That's a lot.
when from when you turn pro, right? And anybody that you think a poor guy is going to be able to afford $350,000?
No chance.
Right? Somebody's investing in that guy. Somebody's making sure that they have a huge percentage of that guy's money whenever he makes it, right? There's guys that get supported by sponsors, backers, you know, even some cartel guys, you know, and your favorite fighter, man, you know, Canelo is.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people behind him before he got to where he is, right?
I know.
But you know, so that whole thing of boxing the poor man's sport is complete bullshit.
It's a lot of money in it.
It's a lot of money, and it's the most dangerous sport, because a lot of these poor guys, you know, they'll go and they'll bust their ass off in the gym, get hit. We actually take more damage in the training than we do in fights. The fights is easy. If you get knocked out, you get hurt in a fight, referee stops or your corner stops it.
But
that's it.
In the sparring sessions, you don't even know if you're really hurt, because no one's really checking up on you. Like, everyone's like, "Hey, are you okay? Good for that fight." But no one's doing a post checkup. You're not really doing the post checkup.
But you're getting hit multiple times sometimes, you know. And sometimes the coach is not really
stopping it.
He's like, "Oh yeah, it's part of the business. Part of the business. You're gonna get hit." But nobody's checking on the well-being. Like, how's this guy doing? Yeah. And a lot of fighters, they carry the outside pressure, stress, life into the ring. You know, I've experienced that too. There's some days where I'll spar amazing. My mind is open. I'm free. And there's some days, okay, I got bills to pay. I got this person asking me for money. This person. I carry that into the ring. I have the worst sparring ever. You know, I get beat up, right? So for me, it's just, I want to create a culture, and I want to create a boxing club that really changes the way boxers
are viewed.
Are viewed about how they carry themselves. Good. Because a lot of boxers, I mean, I've seen too many guys, even like other pros that I know personally, after their career's over, they're struggling with life. You know, some guys fall into drugs, some guys fall into, you know, depression, alcohol. They're depressed with the job that they're in, because they dedicated their whole life. They identified with being a boxer. It didn't work out. They got knocked out on the big stage, and then it's over. You know, that attention that they had before, it's gone. They're a civilian now. Yep. But they have no backing. Some guys don't go to school. Some guys don't have a business. Some guys just don't have skills with people. Yep. They only thought that the sport was going to help them. But boxing is one of the coldest sports in the world. You know, I you know, excuse my language, but I always say boxing is a jealous bitch. You know, because you could pay as much attention to it all your life, but the minute you take your eyes off the sport, boom, that's when shit happens, when you try going back to the sport. Yep. Right? And even when you're done with the sport, they forget about you, right?
Like nothing. Who's next?
And then you're trying to pick up the pieces, you know, that, hey, you gave everything, you give 20 years of your life to boxing, but boxing didn't give you nothing, and boxing is not going to help you, right? So I'm grateful as well, because I've been able to, you know, my whole life I've been boxing. Everything's been around me. I was able to like squeeze business deals and opportunities through boxing, my connections that I met in boxing.
Nice.
And people see me, they like who I am. I like to say I carry myself pretty well, and I'm not stupid. You know, I don't get punched enough in the head where I can't, you know, form sentences and, you know, put things together, right? So I'm also very creative, right? So for my boxers, I want them to learn as much as they can from me and somebody better than me, and I want to be a good role model for my boxers. You know, if you see a lot of boxing coaches, you know, they end up divorced, they're womanizing and stuff like that, right? And how are you going to mentor a kid if you can't mentor yourself?
100%.
You know,
you got to be the leader of your own. Like, that's why, like, you know, I talked to Mark's part of our team at On the Run Meals, and here with the On the Run podcast, and a couple other ventures that we share. And, you know, everybody under the On the Run umbrella, I always say, man, like, buddy, don't worry about when I walk in and I see you doing something stupid. Worry about yourself when nobody's here and you're doing something stupid. Because, like, I know intentionally you're not trying to do something stupid, and especially when I'm fucking right in front of you. But when you're doing something stupid when no one's looking, that's when it really matters. Yeah. Why? Because you're not holding integrity behind who you are, you know, and again, maybe you're a piece of shit, but we don't have pieces of shit working for On the Run Meals, right? Like, and we don't accept that. It's a culture based thing.
Yeah,
right?
and that going back to that culture based, mentality is that's what I'm trying to do with my coaches as well.
Good, man.
Right, I have a whole code of ethics. I have a standard for who's coaching at the Boxers Club
and how
they
coach too, right?
Yeah, how they coach, but also how they carry themselves.
Exactly.
It's just they're representing a brand, which is the Boxers Club, and I don't want my brand to be tarnished with something bad.
100%. Well, and at the end of the day, I think beyond the brand, man, like. Beyond OTR Meals, like OTR Meals is just a brand, but like when people fucking try the food and they're like, oh my God, where's this been my whole life? Or why haven't I been using this? Or I've been using this for, I don't know, 120 orders, 180 orders. I have like so many people are like that, right? But it really just sums down to one thing, like put the brand aside, brother. Like put the business, like, you know what business is? People think it's B2B, like me and you, like, cool. We may have endeavors together between, On the Run Meals and the Boxers Club. Okay, great. The bottom line is, like, brother, if you didn't like who I was or I didn't like who the fuck you are, who cares about Boxers Club or On the Run Meals? Like, I don't care about your, I only care about your company and your brand and everything because I like you and I like you're who you are. I like working with you. I like speaking to you. But if you were just a fucking good boxer and I didn't like you, and then what, bro? There's so many good boxers that I don't deal with already. You know what I mean? Like, or people I just don't deal with. Like, there's many opportunities that have even come across our table, like Mark's been like, oh, this guy wants to work with us. I'm like, yo, tell him to kick rocks. Well, because he has 1.2 million followers? I don't give a fuck. The guy's looking for free food. Who is he? Lifestyle. Get the fuck out of here. Like, I don't, buddy, business is P2P, people to people. It has nothing to do with B2B bullshit. It's
and you're building community within your business.
Yeah, like you like think about it, like, bro, like the reason why you want your people to carry themselves a certain way to represent the brand is because those people need to go talk to other people. The brand is what we all like, hey, we stand for this, but we are individualized with these habits and levels of integrity and everything, all these like great attributes that make a good person. We hold this, that holds this brand up like this, and that's what we stand for, right? I think the brand is representation of the people. It's not that the people are a representation of the brand. The brand, holds a certain culture standard and all that, but the people need to adhere to it in order for the brand to stand on that, right? Like, buddy, Boxers Club, you may have the great intention. I may have the greatest intention for OTR Meals, whatever. But if somebody's not throwing that elbow into the food and creating that passion, and they're just coming in and they're just like, fuck this, fuck that, and just angry and just like throwing things and this and being sloppy, you think the food's going to be good, bro? It doesn't matter if OTR Meals has a standard and a brand and a culture. None of that matters. Why I know this? Because over the 10 years, I've had over 100 employees coming in and out of this place, brother. And I'm telling you, I have a team of 12. Why? Because everyone else got exiled. Hey, buddy, kick rocks, leave. Why? Because you're negative. You're a fucking troll. Like one negative attribute that you carry in from your outside, brother.
Mess up the whole ecosystem.
Every single one of my employees have struggles on the outside, but we all have compassion for one another. They have compassion for me, bro. Like anytime I go in there to help them with a 1-2, whatever, I'm just like, oh, fuck it. I'm going to go hang out with the boys. I'm going to go cut some. They're like, is everything okay? Like, it's okay. We can handle it. And I'm like, just them saying that makes me want to help them even more. You know what I mean?
That's awesome.
And that's what it is. It's just like, again, I want to wake up and just know that people actually care. I don't give a fuck about mistakes, brother. I don't care what Joanne didn't like my meal. Good for you, girl. Like, don't order again. I'm sorry. We're not the right fit for you, Or, hey, this meal sucked this week. Yeah, we're people. We make mistakes. Fuck, we forgot the salt. We forgot the this. Like, we overcooked it. What do you think? Like, tomorrow we have the time just to go recook everything? Like, yeah, it's not going to be 10 out of 10 all the time. Yeah. But the intention is there all the time. The integrity is there all the time. Like, if we could fix the mistake, we will right away. We don't have these mistakes because we hold ourselves to a high standard with a high level, operating procedure, SOPs. But bottom line is again, you're trying to create that culture that people, like, you're setting Boxer Club with these main things. And if you as an individual don't want to adhere to that within this right here in this realm, then don't come here. You know what I mean? Don't care. Like, if you want to be a slob on your couch, that's okay behind closed doors. But right here, we walk with our shoulders up, chest out. Why? Because we walk with intention. You know, and I think that's what you're trying to create ultimately. But looking ahead, you know, any dream opponents you still want to face? Like, to be honest, I know you're still in the, you know.
Now I'm in the comeback, you know, so I got to win this next fight, get my ranking back. Yeah. So I'm just focused on one thing at a time. But
have you ever had that dream? Like, you know?
Man, I wanted to fight Devin Haney when I won the Middle East title. I was like 36 under WBC.
Wow.
With that same title that Devin Haney had, right? So now they're all moving up to welterweight. So, but super lightweight division, it's very hot. There's a lot of opportunities, right? So,
but you're taking it day by day, right?
Yeah, day by day. I just want to. Right now, I got to get this next win on August 9th, and then from there, we got to see what's happening. Hopefully, you know, there's bigger opportunities, better opportunities. But I'm just, for right now, I'm not getting ahead of myself. I got to come out with a bang. I got to come out with a dominant performance, and then, you know, reassess what's happening next after that, right? Because I learned my lesson, you know, trying to think too far ahead, and you don't focus on what's right in front of you, right? So I got to focus on what's in front of me.
Buddy, I it's funny you say that. We were literally just talking about that with Mark today. I came in and he's like, "Hey, bro, sorry for messaging about yesterday because we need to film some content after this." And I'm like, and then I made a joke because we as a team, we went fishing one time, like 8 of us, right? Yeah. And we had a great time, and only 3 of us assholes, shout out my boys that are fishing today. But, you know, we were supposed to go, and he's like, yeah, we can go after. And I'm like, honestly, brother, today, you know, we both like looked at each other and said, yeah, it'd be nice to be fishing, but like just the look of our face, you know, it's like we can see that we're both stressed out. And, you know, like what they say, action is the absence of anxiety. Like, you just put action behind your anxiety, you won't have anxiety, right? Like this podcast, like I was having anxiety about it leading up to it because I was like, man, like I got to film this, but I have so many other things I got to do it. Who's going to have 100 problems? Just deal with what you got to deal with today and do it with integrity. And that's why I told Mark too, I was like, I'm running a little bit late. Why? So I just wanted to chill on my couch with my girl, my wife, you know, and my cats, and just get rid of that energy. Like, who cares how many problems I have? Like, right now, I'm about to go speak to Hellman. I wanted to speak to him. I told him I wanted to speak to him. Like, the fuck am I? Who cares about my feelings? Like, because tomorrow I'm going to wake up with another 100 problems and another 100 problems and another 100 problems. But right now, I want to go and enjoy this conversation. You know what I mean?
No, I'm enjoying it too. It's just it's like, nice to speak with friends after so long as well. You know,
man. You
pick each other's brains, and you know.
Yeah, and again, like once we're done, you're gonna go deal with your 100 problems, and I'm gonna deal with my 100 problems. But like, why are we gonna bring these 100 problems into this right now?
Yeah.
And it's like you just said. I asked you, like, what is the guy you want to go fight? You're like, buddy, like I have so many people that I want to fight, but like that is a question on August 10th. That I'll think about, because on August 9th, right now, where my mind is today is on August 9th. I have a fight on August 9th. It doesn't matter about August 10th. August 9th is the fucking thing. It's like, today, this is it. This is all that matters today. At this time to this time, this is all that matters, right? So, rapid fire round. I want to, you know, ask you a bunch of questions because I just want, you know, keep it short and get to know you a little bit more. Your favorite, of course, I'm going to go right to it. What's your favorite boxing movie?
Favorite boxing movie?
I know you have plenty.
Too many, man.
Number one, right? First.
It has to be a classic, Raging Bull.
Raging Bull.
Yeah.
Yeah? Well, that was
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. Yes.
Who's an animal, Larry?
Yes. Great one. Actually, I really like that one too. Who hits the hardest you've ever faced?
In the pro ranks, like professional?
Like one that you were like, holy crap, it's pretty hard. Like, of course, people hit hard. Yes, you're expecting a hard hit, but like, you know, you're like, wow, okay.
Hit
like,
hard.
Was it like the one that hits the hardest? Like, that simple.
So last year around this time, I fought my U.S. debut.
Okay.
This guy Patrick O'Connor, he punched pretty hard, but I shut him down. But like I remember that first punch he threw, I was like, oh, he's trying to knock me out, and he was clowning me a little bit, throwing some big shots. But I broke him down. But I was like, oh shit, this guy can punch hard. He had 21 wins and 18 knockouts.
Damn,
with those 21 wins, right? So I was like, I gotta watch out, but it was the mindset, right? Like I couldn't be scared of that, right? But
of course. After that win, what's your go-to meal after those big wins? Like, what is it that you're like? Because I know for me, I after my competitions, like leading up to it, it's kind of bad. And again, I'm not gonna do this next time I go to compete. But it's funny. I don't watch food content, but like 3-4 weeks out, buddy, every fucking food influencers, like I'm just like this on cardio, just watching it. I'm like, what am I doing? I know, we all do, right? This time, what I told myself, the next time I go to compete, 4 weeks out, every piece of food content out. I don't even want to think about what's after. I want to think about eating that, whatever it is, chicken rice. It's not like I'm not eating. My coach feeds me actually too much leading up to the show, but because he likes to fill me up. But when it comes to my big win after, I always want like some sort of sandwich because I'm always eating rice or sweet potato that I just don't put all that crap aside. I don't even want pasta. I just want like a sandwich form of something. So what's yours? Like what's...
Well, I love pasta, man.
Pasta?
But like,
yeah, because you're not eating pasta before that, right?
I haven't touched pasta in like maybe a month and a half now.
Okay, so pasta's your... What kind?
Oh, man, there's a lot, man. I like making this truffle penne arrabbiata.
Okay, yeah.
With shrimp.
Yep.
That I make that myself.
Yep.
But the other restaurants, like I go to Grappa, they have some crazy pasta dishes.
Grappa's great, yeah.
What else? I like burgers. I'm a huge burger guy.
I love burgers.
You know, I like during camp, I cook steak a lot.
Fair enough.
So
Me too. I have nice steak.
I have steak every day, right? Almost.
And I have ground beef every day.
Yeah.
And then my cheat meals as well, leading up to the show, maybe 2 weeks out, he cuts them out because he wants to like suck me back in. Yeah. But leading up to the show, normally every week he's hitting me with one cheat meal, and then he's like, "Holy shit, you got full, you're still lean. Hit another one." And I'm like, "Brother, you sure? Like, I just had burgers and fries yesterday. I have a fucking competition in 2 weeks." He's like, "Hit another one," and I'm like, "Okay." I go and eat another burgers and fries. He's like, "Okay, perfect. Cut the cardio, and I'm like,
"That's crazy."
But these burgers and fries are supposed to be for after, bro. Like, I'm not even enjoying them. I am, but I'm not because I'm. You know, he's the scientist, right? He's my coach. I'm going to trust him 100%. But I'm like, you know, I'm eating the fries. I'm like, am I supposed to eat this many? How many fries, you know? And the idea is just do the burgers and fries, do the same thing that you always do, right? And I have my go-to place. Five Guys, my go-to place. While I'm in competition.
Yeah.
Then I have my other places after that, right? But, yeah. 3 things always in your gym bag.
3 things always in my gym bag. My gloves. Shoes.
Yep.
Wraps. And wraps, obviously, but say 3 things always in my gym bag. Yeah. It's about
That's
water.
Water.
The Boxers Club water.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then what's one myth about boxers that's totally wrong?
What's one myth? Oh man. It's a lot. A lot of myths.
Like anything.
Oh, if you got muscle, you can punch hard. Yeah, that's bullshit.
That's the hugest crock of shit, you know. It's funny. My friends always used, like, one of my biggest assets is my arms, right? Like I have bigger arms. You know, my friends always used to say, "Yeah, obviously you're knocking these guys up," because they've seen it in the club, right? Again, I always throw the first one, so it's just like, And in the clubs, it's easy. People are drunk, so sleep time, bedtime. Even myself, like I get clipped. I'm going to sleep, right? So I know. And, you know, they always used to make the joke about big arms. And I'm like, brother, my big arms are actually the worst thing for me in fighting. If they're heavy, I have to fucking keep them up. Why do you think I throw hard, quick, fast? Because it's not my big arms, it's that twist, you know? And mind you, I've had a little bit of experience, and I've trained a little bit of boxing, and I've trained for 2 years straight. No bodybuilding, no weightlifting, no nothing. Everything resistant training through cables and MMA. And during that time, I got real humbled, humbled like a motherfucker, because the guy I was training with, he went to Pride. Anyways,
oh wow.
Long story short, he does Jeet Kune Do. So it's like flow, like, you know, like butterflies, thing like a bee bullshit. Like it's crazy. Like he breaks that. He goes like, you know, like he just like humbles you really quickly. So what I realized is, like, when I trained with him for 2 years, and how shredded and conditioned I was, I looked great. I looked amazing. I looked great. And everyone's like, "Holy crap, you look great." I'm like, "Brother, I'm stronger than I've ever been. I'm lighter than I've ever been." You know, and I'm like, how? And then when I went back to the bodybuilding crap before, like at that time, this was when I was 22, 37 now, right? I was fucking...
You're 37?
37.
Holy shit, bro. Yeah, so it happens when you eat good food, you look young.
It is. Forever young, right? I'm actually trying to go backwards, but you know, I was pressing fucking 70s as like 80s was like my max, doing it like as proper as possible. Buddy, after that MMA training and the resistance training through those cables and, real strength, figuring, how to throw a punch, how to kick and all this. I went back to the friggin' the pressing and the pressing, like 90s. I was like throwing them.
Yeah.
And again, it's not about the big muscles. It's what type of muscle you're building and how you're, how you're building it. Right now, no chance. I'm the weakest I've ever been. Why? Because I do hypertrophy, however you say it, training. It's like bodybuilding training. I'm trying to stay within that resistance.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to slow the tempo down. When I'm in that state, you don't need weight. Right now, if I turn to you and say, do a double front bicep flex, right? If I hold this bicep flex, watch, like, give it like 9-10 seconds, what's going to happen? I'm going to start shaking.
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm holding the resistance. I'm holding it. And that's with no weight. So why would my goal be to pick up hundreds and try to press them? No, I want to press 60s as slow as possible. Just stay under that resistance. That's the goal. So technically, I'm actually the weakest I possibly can be because I don't strength train. I body build.
Yeah, so you're just pumping.
Not just pumping. It's like I'm building the muscle. Right?
Yeah, what's your rep range usually?
To be honest with you, failure. I don't count reps. I don't count sets. I don't do none of that shit, brother. I know the weight I'm doing. And certain days, things are heavier because mentally we're at 0. So I'll go, instead of doing 140 on a back pull or 160, go down to 120. But I'll do it the right way and I'll get that same feeling of those last 3 reps. I don't want to do it. No, I do 3 more or 4 more.
Yeah.
And slow, same tempo. That's it, And again, back to that answer where you said, most people think that the big guy or this or that guy or the guy that barks hard. It's like, no, it's actually the guy that doesn't bark, the guy that's smiling, the guy that's turned like this, not, It's like, no, it's the guy that's like this. Because I used to be that guy, Oh, yeah, good looking, pretty boy. Oh, white guy. Oh, what does he know? What he knows is that his foot's already behind him. One foot's here. He's already sized you. And you're here barking up like a tough guy, going like this. Obviously, you're going to go to sleep, You know what I mean? Like, this more than ever. Or anyone, right?
The amount of big guys that I knocked out when I was younger.
That's what I mean.
And back then, when I was younger, grew up in Czech Republic, I was like 130 pounds. And I would knock out guys that are 200, 250 pounds, 260 pounds, right? Big guys. But it's just like when you hit them, because most people, they don't expect to get hit.
Yes.
Most, especially bodybuilders, big bodybuilders. When was the last time you got punched in the face?
Buddy. When I punched myself in the face one time, I had to wake myself up. I was having bad days. I just went pop. But in a while,
the average human, the average human doesn't get punched in years.
Ever.
Right? And even a boxer, when you're coming back into camp after you take a little break, that first sparring session, you get hit with a jab or a right hand, it buzzes you a little bit, even as a competing boxer, right? So when a guy doesn't actually get hit in the face and you're on the street and you punch a big dude, whatever size you are,
it doesn't matter.
Most people, they can't take a punch because they're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why a small boxer has a chance to knock out anyone.
It doesn't matter because all it takes is one.
Yeah,
everyone has a chin, and it doesn't matter about how much size.
Some guys that have a bigger jaw structure, bigger neck muscles. That when they get hit, that shock in the brain doesn't go back to their brain and come back, so they don't fall asleep. They get hit. They're like, oh shit, okay. But not everybody is that lucky,
But that's genetics. Like a dime a dozen. It's like nothing.
No, there's been a few guys that I've hit on the street and they don't go down. I'm like, what? And I'm just hitting. And I'm like, what? Go down.
Yeah, he's like, I can't see you, but I'm also not going down right now. You know?
But I had some big, some bad encounters with some of those guys. But
it's I think as a before I ask you the last thing, I think boxers and all MMA fighters, and the biggest takeaway I think that they can, really work on personally, from an outside perspective, and again, this applies to every aspect of life.
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking about your businesses, and including mine. It doesn't matter anywhere. As men, the faster we get rid, not fully. When you're doing the work, you can carry it. But the faster we get rid of that ego is the fastest that we'll get to where we need to get. In every aspect, And, you know, as a box, I remember as an MMA guy, like, buddy, when I did that 2 years of fucking training, the guy was telling me, hey, do you want to like, and I'm like, honestly, not really. But trust me, if somebody tests me on the street, I'm ready. And when it came down to it, I realized I was like, man, I can't, I want to, and then I realized, you know, it's like, I can crush this guy. I'm like, I don't even need to, you know, and then when I realized, that was like a growing point of my life. It's like when I gained all these skills, it's like a piece of advice I want to turn on to everybody. It's like, once you gain any skill it may be in life, humble yourself.
Yeah. You gotta still have, I think you still gotta have ego, because ego helps build confidence.
100%.
And it helps set you up with the system around you, right?
1000%.
But being humble keeps you in check. So you gotta like kind of play with the ego and play with the humbleness, right?
Exactly. And that's what I mean. But I think when somebody is so confident in themselves because they've gained these skills over time, but yet this humble is the most dangerous person.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't need to show up. Like, you just walk through the facility and you're like, holy fuck, this is, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just giving you a tour. I'm not like showing, you know, like, to me, this is like, yeah, like, oh, thank you. You know, you're like, oh my God. And I'm like, thank you. You know, like, I'm humbled by you saying, oh my God, but like, I'm not like, yeah, bro, you know, like, yo, do you see this? You see, you know, like, I don't care. You know why? Because like, I know I can do this 10x, and I know I can do it with 10 times less space. You know, I'm humbled in both aspects, you know, and I also know that there are companies that are 30,000 times bigger than mine, you know, that are in the food industry. So it's like, you know, stay humble. There's always somebody bigger, better than you, right? It doesn't matter how good you are. It doesn't matter. Mike Tyson, the greatest at his point stamp, got knocked down, got beat up.
Even that fight where he got knocked out by Buster Douglas, he knocked the guy out first.
Yeah.
But it's just,
there you go. Final message to your supporters, aspiring boxers, and anyone chasing a dream. What would you like to tell them?
To be honest, you know, I think, you know, life is too short not to go after what you're after. There's always going to be people doubting you. Just go do what you're set out to do, what you want to do, and deal with either the failure after or the success after, right? But just do it. You know,
just do it.
Yeah, it's, you know, opening a business is hard. Open it and figure out what happens after.
Exactly.
If you got to go bankrupt, you go bankrupt, right? But and if you want to fight, go out, sign up for your boxing club, get a fight, and if you get your ass kicked, train harder.
Yeah, train harder. If you want to exactly. If you want to continue to do it, just train harder.
Yeah,
I like that, man. You know what? Nike's a multi-billion-dollar company, right? And look at their slogan, just do it, you know, and it kind of goes over our head. You know, we wear fucking Nike everywhere, and you want to be matchy without just looking at that simple message of just do it, you know? And then you get, you know, what the brand really stands for is literally, like, we facilitate you. Like, if you want to be a boxer and wear Nike, good. If you want to be a fucking bodybuilder and wear Nike, good. If you want to be a hockey player, we have hockey, Nike, and basketball. You know, Nike's everywhere because they're just telling you, just do it. Because that's really what it comes down to. You know what I mean? So I think we overcomplicate everything in life. So that last message really resonates with me. You know, it's like today, like I was telling you, I was not feeling anything. But if I don't do anything, I get nothing. And I'm going to feel nothing. Just go do it. And here I am doing it, and we did it, and feeling great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's been amazing. You know, it's good conversation,
exactly,
and just good vibes.
Exactly. But thank you again, brother, for coming out.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you
again, guys.